In this module, we're going to discuss some important tools to planning your financial life successfully. First on the list is retirement planning. Planning for retirement is one thing that a lot of people are not very intentional about. And it can really be detrimental to your financial future if you don't have any plan for your retirement. You see business owners running businesses for years without any backup plan for that business or something to fall back on when they're unable to exchange as much time and effort for money. So let's talk about it. One of the most significant importance of starting your retirement planning early is that you're able to enjoy compound interest a lot. Compound interest can grow your money exponentially. When you start early, you are able to keep compounding what you've invested with the interest for years to come. Imagine someone that stayed invested in a retirement plan for 10 years only, and another that started early and was invested in that same retirement plan for 40 years. Who do you think would have more wealth at the retirement age? It's obviously the person that stayed invested for 40 years. Because compound interest plus time can skyrocket what you're able to achieve with your money. Let's say you are someone that is ready to start their retirement planning, or you've started, but you want to restructure and be sure you're on the right path. What is the first thing you should do? The first thing you should consider is clarity on where you want to be at your retirement. What do I mean? So when you sit down and you envision what your retirement years would look like, what do you see? Do you see yourself traveling the world? Do you see yourself retiring into a cozy urban area where you have a farm and your grandchildren can visit, or maybe your children? When you sit back and you think about your future, what do you see? Now, this step is very important because after doing this and you gain clarity, is when you now be able to sit back and think about how much it will cost you to finance that lifestyle that you see. So for example, somebody that wants to travel the world should probably be looking at a bigger retirement bucket than someone that wants to retire into a cozy cottage with their family. So clarity on where you want to be, how you want to spend your retirement days is very important when you're planning. So now that you're clear, say you've taken this step seriously, you sat down with yourself, your journal and your pen, and you did the exercise to picture your future. Now, you can think about how much that would cost you. This is where I share a tool called the retirement calculator with you. Because with this tool, you'll be able to calculate how much you would have at your retirement. So your retirement calculator basically looks at how much you're contributing, say, to your retirement account, the interest per year, and that compounding. So with that calculation, you'd be able to see the exact figure that you will have, say, in 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. With a Google search, type retirement calculator, you will see different tools that can help you do just that. Retirement planning is about being intentional. Your future will come, either you're prepared for it or not. And as we grow older, we tend to have less time or less strength to exchange for money. So it is important to intentionally plan for those days. Another important thing you must not ignore is healthcare. Ensure that health insurance is in place for you and you keep updating and adjusting it to suit your lifestyle as you grow older. This is the part I talk to you about estate planning. Estate planning is an aspect of our financial lives that we also don't talk about enough. Because people essentially don't like to think about the time they are no longer here on earth. But Either we are prepared for it or not. It's going to come one day. Estate planning is so important in helping you protect your own interest and that of your loved ones when you are no longer here. And one of the key instruments of estate planning is will. A lot of people don't like talking about will because they automatically see it as talking about death. But for me, I don't see it that way. I see it as a way for me to take control of my future even when I'm not here. It protects me, my interest, and that of my loved ones. So I really don't see the dark side to it as a lot of people do. So let's talk more about will. A will is a legal document that clearly states your interests and how you want what you have and your properties to be distributed either to your loved ones or to charity organizations or whatever you want. So let's look at some very important parts of a will. It is advisable that when you want to set up a will, a lawyer should be involved. And they would guide you on how to write a will the proper way. And also put it in a legally binding way. The lawyers know the terms to use for that. But there are some important parts you should focus on. Number one, the executor, who is going to carry out this will you're about to write down. Most often than not, is usually the lawyers. And the one that will say, okay, this is the will of this person, and this is how they want their properties or whatever they own to be distributed. There are also beneficiaries. Say you have 5 plots of land and you have 4 siblings. How do you want the plot of land? Say you want it to go to your siblings. How do you want the plot of land to be distributed? So these are going to be your beneficiaries. They're the ones that are going to benefit from what you're about to write down. If you have children that are minors, you can decide to put a guardian in charge of them. Say there's a legal guardian that will be in charge of, say, the wealth that you leave for them till they are at a particular age or they've achieved any particular condition that you want written down. There are so many intentional and delicate parts of putting down a will. But at the beginning stage, for me, it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. If you want your loved ones to know how to distribute what you have, you can write it down. Some people do a clear folder where they list out where they have properties, who should have access to the properties, write letters, do anything that they think they want their loved ones to know about them when they are no longer here. And they entrust this documentation to somebody that would carry out their wishes according to what they've written, somebody they trust. I hope you've learned something about estate planning and you don't see it as such a daunting or scary thing to do. I think it's one of the best ways you can show your loved ones that you truly care about them, even in death, and also how you can protect your own interests. In this model, you have been introduced to retirement planning and estate planning and how vital it is that you're able to plan ahead for your life. And I hope that if you ever thought this process is a scary one, that we've been able to overcome that mindset. You can read so much more about retirement planning, will, estate planning, and the likes. Again, it's just about being intentional. Well done.